Hello, my friends. It's another beautiful day in the Bay Area. Welcome to Shared Bites. It's a show about sharing experiences both inside and outside the gaming industry. You got your old pals, Justin and Andy here. And today we're joined by a special friend, Chandler Wood. He's an old friend of ours from the Destiny raiding days, but he more recently has spun up a pretty sizable community in the video game industry, but I won't steal his thunder. I'll let him introduce himself. Chandler, why don't you say hello?
Hello. Yeah, it's been we've known each other now it's got to be going on 10 years.
Yeah, how long's Destiny been out?
Basically,
basically when was the first Vault of Glass raid? Because
it was slightly before that. I think Justin, I'd seen you on like all the PlayStation stuff, knew who you were, and I played against you in Crucible at one point.
Crucible.
And I think I tweeted at you and I was like, "Ha, we beat you. How'd that feel?" And you were like, "You little fool!" Like
Nice.
that's funny.
And then we just became friends. And yeah, that was like, "Hey, you want to be
friends?"
friends?"
Is a strong word.
It's a strong word. I mean,
just kidding.
Sure. I only sent you a wedding.
We're besties now. Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't make it.
All good. Yeah. Andy, you were on the list too, but we had to call a lot of
awkward conversations.
Awkward conversations.
I know.
Okay. Really
Moving on. So yeah, we met when you were editor-in-chief of PlayStation Lifestyle. You did lots of work there. You built quite the audience there. And then you moved on and you got your feet into the game industry proper. How did that happen?
So yeah, my dream through being at PlayStation Lifestyle was always like get into the gaming industry, make that jump to as much as games journalists want to feel like they're in the gaming industry, when you're actually in the gaming industry, you realize that they're not. They're adjacent. They're a part of it. They're definitely part of that whole ecosystem, but like it's a whole different world once you make that jump. So many years I was applying to places like Bungie, places like Sony. And then right in my own backyard, I lived in Salt Lake City, Utah at the time. There's a little studio called Avalanche Software. It's part of WB Games. They made a little, I think it was like an indie hit, Hogwarts Legacy, something like that.
Oh, just
nice.
a small
I think I've heard of it.
Small team.
Yeah. It was
new IP.
A little thing a few years ago. I think it's kind of died off mostly now, but yeah. They were literally a 7-minute drive from my house at the time, and I think I applied 3 different times over the course of about 2 years to try and get into that. They kept kind of rescinding the job. They weren't quite ready for it yet, and then they put it back out again. And the third time I was just like, you know what, this is a mess, whatever, fine, I'll put this in. And turns out that's the time you get the job, when it's the whatever throwaway application, like whatever.
When you're not trying, you got to always make them think you're not really interested, and that's when
really
they
want this.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden it's like,
hard to get.
You want your first game that you launch with your name in the credits to be the best-selling game of 2023? Sure, why not? Let's go for it.
Congrats on that, by the way. Congrats on breaking into the industry. That's a big milestone. Good on you.
Yeah. Great.
So yeah, Hogwarts Legacy, obviously, elephant in the room. Lots of controversy surrounding that IP over the past few years. What was it like trying to build a civil, well-behaved community within that context?
It's nerve-wracking to take on for so many reasons. I mean, the first being the obvious elephant in the room, kind of like the controversy that comes with it, and kind of like when you tell people about that or they hear that name, there's a visceral reaction from some people. My take on that was to just allow people, obviously, to have that reaction. They're not wrong.
Sure.
In the reactions that they want to have. And so it was really like allowing people to feel that and to have that, and not try and defend it or defend what we were doing or anything, but also to validate. But also just within the community, there are so many really, really passionate fans of that whole world and that whole franchise and everything. And so that was another part of it that was hard to step into, because with any IP thing, when you step in and somebody's a big fan, they're always like, actually, no, this is not the way that I wanted it. I mean, as any fandom goes,
somebody got fired for that blunder.
Yeah.
So
Were you a big
Uh,
Harry Potter fan? But going in, or like?
I mean, as a kid, definitely,
Yeah.
I read it. I wouldn't say that at that point in time. I'm not there anymore, so I guess I can admit this now. Uh, Up until last year, I believe, or maybe like the end of 2024, I
Mm.
had not seen all of the Harry Potter movies.
Mm.
Oh,
I mean, I
really?
still haven't.
It's
So I
okay. The
don't know
books are
about
better.
that.
Yeah, exactly. That was exactly my point. I was like, that I got to the third movie, I think, and I was like, I'm disappointed.
The third movie is the best of the movies, though. It's
Is it?
Prisoner of
Okay.
Azkaban, right? That was the best
Yeah,
one.
Wasn't that two?
That's where they introduced
No,
Gary
three?
Oldman's character, I think, right?
yeah.
That's where Sirius
See,
Black came in.
that's the one that made me drop off because I was like, this feels like supplemental material to the book. They're leaving out
Mm.
so many details that have to come back in later that I was
Yeah.
so frustrated
All right,
by
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Interesting.
we don't have to turn
Yeah.
it into Harry Potter talk. I'm not like
Well,
I'm not gonna. I'm done with that IP. I've moved on from that. Anyway,
Well,
but
it's cool that I think I was just gonna be like I think it's kind of like the right amount of fandom to have. I think to be able to work on a project because like you know enough that you like know the characters and you appreciate the characters and you see like kind of what the fan favorites are, but you're not like so invested that every little thing becomes like can become like triggering for you or like kind of you're really sensitive. So I think that's kind of the right balance because you don't want to be like one or the other, like all the way over there, all of it, right?
What was cool is we were able to take something that it wasn't Harry Potter. It was Hogwarts Legacy.
Right.
It
Yeah,
was within this world. It was within this like thing that was built. There's certain like lore and things that come up in it that we have to kind of build around. And but this was not. It's not the next Harry Potter book. It's not the next Harry Potter story. It's
sure, yeah,
way before everything. And we kind of took that and ran with it and really just wanted to build up like positivity and inclusivity within the community and show that we were like open and welcoming within that, but also welcoming was not defensive. It wasn't like pulling people in and being like, well, no, you're wrong, you have to get in here, you have to. It's like we're welcoming, we're opening the doors, but if you don't want to come in, that's completely understandable. Don't worry about it. That's okay.
yeah.
And then really within that space also, some of the more negative things that would try and come out of that. We wouldn't let our community be negative, but not about our game, but about other people. Again, we wanted to have that like welcoming space that was for everybody.
Well, when you say community, do you mean like your own like the own Discord channels or the own like kind of places or like how do you kind of like
how do I define community?
Yeah, well, how do you like police that, right? Or it's like, hey, it's our community, but yes, it is. But like, how do you like enforce people?
All 40 million people who bought it. No.
Yes, that's.
I mean, the dictionary defines community as
it's very broad.
Yeah. I think that it's hard because with something like that massive, you don't have. It's not like an indie game where you have like your little community on Discord or something. There are so many like. There's the community of people who are fans, and then there's sub communities within that who bought it, and there were creators that we worked with in like their communities, and then there's the Reddit communities around it, and then there's the communities of people who were making like fan fiction around their original characters that they'd create for the game, and they'd use like photo mode to like actually create images around their fan fiction. It got wild. It got and trying to follow and keep up with all that is overwhelming. And I don't think a community manager is like a wrong moniker because I don't feel like I was managing the community. I was a community liaison. I was a community
shepherd. No, is that
shepherd maybe in some cases.
Liaison
but in some cases,
is a good way to define what that role is, I think.
Yeah. It was really making sure that kind of translating everything out to the community and then translating everything coming back in as well.
Distilling it all down into, actionable feedback for the dev team. Yeah, that can be a really difficult skill for a community manager is trying to figure out how to distill everything, all that knowledge, all that innate knowledge about the product that you're getting just by absorbing all of this feedback from these different sources and then taking that and presenting it to the team in a way that they can act on. That's really difficult, and it's something that I've struggled with in those similar roles. So kudos to you for doing what seems like a pretty bang up job over there.
I think it went well. People, when I left, I left November last year because unfortunately need somebody on site to be able to be a community manager there. Big part of my job was being at the studio too, and just being able to like talk with people. And
you filmed a lot of videos and things like that.
Filmed a lot of videos there, and then just the hallway conversations. Just even on days where I wasn't actively maybe doing something, being able to walk down by the room where the combat team's working and just kind of like pop in. Hey, what do you guys got going on? Like, just understanding what they're doing, what they're creating, what they're excited about, so that I can take that back out to the community, and vice versa, understanding what the community's saying, like you said, distilling that down and taking that to the team and going, well, there's a couple people over here reading between the lines. This is what I think they mean. How can we kind of work on this and do something different? And so unfortunately had to leave there when I got married and moved to Westchester, New York.
Westchester, yeah. I made the joke earlier, but yeah, you're part of Xavier's Gifted School for the Youngsters. That's the only Westchester reference in my head.
Well, congratulations. Congratulations on the new chapter of your life. That's very exciting.
Yeah.
I think it's a good reason to move.
It's a great reason to move. It's kind of crazy being how old do I admit how old I am at this point? I'm 37, close to 40, and feeling like, I've never lived anywhere outside of Utah. Suddenly I'm in New York.
That's got to be quite the culture shift.
It was huge. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to delve more deeply into this. This sounds really interesting. So so you moved last year, you said 25 or 24?
I've been traveling here for about 2 years on and off, kind of like my now wife, but then girlfriend and fiance had a long distance relationship. She worked at WBD before. She doesn't anymore. Warner Brothers Discovery for the uninitiated. The owner of WB Games of Avalanche Software. And we worked together on a couple of projects. She does employer branding. And so we met through that and just struck something up and had kind of a long distance relationship for a while. And I was coming out here about once a month for a few weeks at a time.
Oh, wow. For weeks. Okay. That's, cross country flights, not
just back and forth for about 2 years for all of 2024 and 2025, basically. And then
that's how you know it's real love. You keep doing those flights.
Oh, the red eyes from
from Salt Lake.
The cheapest flight you can get is the red eye from Salt Lake that flies out at like 11:59 p.m.
And then you're getting there in time for breakfast, basically. Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Well, 6 a.m, East Coast or Mountain, like.
East Coast.
East Coast. Yeah. Oh, so that's 3. That's like what, 4 a.m. Mountain time?
Yeah. It's roughly like a 4.5, 5-hour flight.
Okay. Because then that's the worst part is like the time is like just about right, but then like with the time difference, you're like it's like even less time that you have to sleep on the plane if you can sleep on the plane.
The time difference is weird too. Being on the East Coast, being Mountain Time, you're kind of in the middle of everybody. So if somebody's on East Coast, they're a couple hours after you.
Yeah.
West Coast, they're an hour before you. It's no big deal. But like for you guys, it's not even noon yet. And
nope, it's
I'm
11
sitting over here going 2 o'clock.
Trying to figure out what you're going to have for dinner. Yeah, I'm still waking up. It's 11:11. Hey, make a wish.
Wait, so going back to going back to so I want to know what was that culture shock like? Like were you guys hanging out in like Manhattan or the city, or were you like in Westchester or like kind of suburbs, or like how?
A lot of both. Initially, it was she wanted to give me like the tourist experience, right?
Yes,
like,
you
gotta get your New York experience. You gotta get out there and
you gotta get yelled at by a cabbie.
Exactly. You gotta go to Broadway shows. You gotta do the whole
pizza,
thing. So,
bagels, slice of pizza. Joe's?
Yeah. Oh.
What's your favorite pizza?
So many pizzas.
What's your favorite pizza?
There's a place up here called Hartsdale House of Pizza that's really good.
Okay, Hartsdale House of Pizza. Okay.
Yeah.
In Westchester. Do you have one in Manhattan that you like too, or was there any like one of the tourists? Do you remember any of the tourist locations?
Not really.
No?
It's just been like a whirlwind, honestly.
Yeah, fair enough.
But
what time of year was it?
For
When you were like going out there initially and like doing the touristy stuff?
Spring into summer.
Spring and
Nice.
summer. Okay, because I was going to ask
the
if it was
first, like,
holidays,
half
if
of
you
the
did
year.
all the like Christmas stuff, because that's always
Yeah,
Oh,
like
we
Rockefeller Center.
did
Have you
that
done
at
that?
the end of the
Okay.
year too. Yeah, I brought my mom and her husband out, and we did
nice.
Christmas in New York with them.
Well, what was it
Christmas
like just
slash
having
Hanukkah
like
now.
the,
Yeah.
or just like kind of because you're in the city, right? So that's, I mean, in Salt Lake City, I'm sure like you guys that were like, more in suburbs, right? More like kind of houses and lots and
Mhm.
cul-de-sacs. Like, was that just mind blowing for you? I mean, I'm sure you've traveled before, but kind of, I guess, like
Yeah, I
being there,
traveled
like,
all the time. Yeah, it's different kind of having this access to. I've been in New York once before in my
mm,
life when I was like 21. I think I came by myself for 36 hours to see Green Day's American Idiot on Broadway. Shout
oh,
out to that
Oh,
one.
nice.
nice.
That's a great reason to go.
Um, I
Yeah.
mean, I got the tattoo,
Oh, there
so
it is. There's
Wow,
the
I got
nice.
heart on
I
your
knew
name.
you
Nice.
were. I knew they were your favorite band.
I didn't
but
realize. Yeah, I
wow,
forgot
man.
about that. Nice.
yeah. So yeah, I'd been out once before back then. That this was 2008, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So yeah, it's been a while since you'd been down there.
yeah,
Yeah.
been a long while. 2010, actually. Sorry,
10.
2010.
Okay.
So
That's still
still been a
16
while.
years. Yeah. That's
Um,
still a long time. Double digits.
but yeah, it's a little bit of a culture shock. But I don't know. I've gotten really used to it now, and we actually prefer a lot to go more upstate now.
Ah, so you've
We
already
do like
gone
weekend
full circle.
drives
Yeah.
up the
Get
Hudson
away from the
Valley. We're
people.
like, let's go to the quiet places. Let's go to Sleepy
Yeah.
Hollow. Let's go to Tarrytown. Let's go,
Terry.
sit at a
Nice.
coffee shop on the Hudson and just enjoy
Oh.
bagels or whatever. And
Yeah, yeah, that's
Uh,
yeah. Wait, so you guys didn't actually live in the city, right? You guys always, or did you ever live in the city, like in the?
no, we've
Okay,
always been up here in White Plains is the
White Plains.
city that we
That's
live in. It's in
gotcha.
Westchester County, which is just like half an hour north of
Gotcha.
Manhattan.
Okay. Well, because I think it's a big difference being like visiting the city versus like actually living there day to day. Because that's like I
Mhm.
think the biggest culture shock. It's like your daily routines change, right? Now it's now you're
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
walking
Yeah,
into a bodega. Yeah.
it's a bit of a nice balance. Like we don't have to live there. We don't have to
Yeah.
live like in Manhattan, in the city, in all of that. We can escape. We can get away from it.
Yeah, you guys more
It's
space
a quick
if you need to.
train ride, or if we want to stay down there for a night, it's really easy to just
Mm-hmm.
take
You get it.
take the dog to her parents and have them babysit for the night, and we'll go down, stay in a hotel for a night or something, just to not have to drive in and out of the city in one day. But
Yeah, nice. So yeah, I
but
get
we
the
also
best
get
of
to
both
escape
worlds.
it. Yeah.
since you're so fresh off of this transition from like suburb life to just like the complete polar opposite of that, and obviously you're back out into suburb type stuff now, but
Mhm.
like going out to New York, what's one thing that you really love about your new situation, like one convenience or one quality of life upgrade that you really love, and what's one that you miss from back in Utah?
Oh man. I mean, the obvious, right, is that I get to be here with my wife now.
I mean,
Like,
that's hard to
that's
overlook.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
The long distance and the travel was really tough at times, and being apart for 3-4 weeks at a time sometimes,
oh
and then
yeah.
um so that's really nice. Uh, Convenience, yeah, being able like how much people here take for granted that they have this like culture of being able to go see shows and go to Broadway shows and go to,
Mm-hmm.
like comedy
Restaurants, like
shows, and like there's endless things to do. You are not short of anything to do in the city at all.
yeah.
And it's not like Salt Lake didn't have anything to do, but it's a lot more curated, a lot more limited in terms of what you have going on there.
Yeah,
Um,
sure, makes
where here
sense.
it's just like you want to go do something. I don't know, like let's see what's playing, what's going on, instead of like needing to follow
Trying to
things.
plan like,
Yeah.
oh man, this band is going to be playing at a venue 3 hours out. If we, plan the day around it, we can go see them. That it's,
Yeah.
I imagine that you're not getting as many stadium sellers out in Salt Lake as you are in New York.
Salt Lake was a pretty good music scene.
Oh yeah,
When I was much younger, I was an avid concert goer. Not
nice.
so much as I got older, but
Oh, actually, there was that movie SLC Punk about like the whole the punk scene back then. Yeah,
great movie. Yeah,
great movie. Matthew Lillard in one of his earlier breakout hits. But
cool.
we're getting off track a little bit here. Speaking of things to do, Shared Bites is a show about sharing experiences inside and outside of gaming. So one segment that we like to get to early in the show is what we've been up to, either game wise or not game wise. Andy, I'd love to give you some time to chat since we've heard a lot from Chandler. Give his vocal cords a rest. What have you been up to?
Yeah. Okay. So I've done quite a bit over the last couple of weeks, but I think something that came to mind was Tuesday, Sunday. I went to see Lucha Libre Wrestling at Chase Center. Yeah, cool. It was free Lucha Libre Wrestling, which is amazing. Always love to see a free show. And it was put on by one of the West Coast. It's called West Coast Revolution, I think. It's like an indie promotion company. And they set up shop like right in front of the Chase Center, which is where the Warriors play. So it's like an NBA arena, like outside. And it was actually an interesting setup because it's been super nice out here, by the way, like weather-wise, in terms of like it's been like 70 and like sunny. So it was like a nice afternoon just to be outside. But they had like the Jumbotron outside of the arena. So it wasn't inside, it was outside.
Oh, wow. Cool.
But they set up the ring outside with like seats and stuff. And so, but they let them use like the big Jumbotron as like the presentation for all the wrestlers.
Wow, that's
pretty cool.
How do they get the Jumbotron out of there? That's great. I didn't know they could move that thing.
No, they didn't move it. It's just they're outside of the arena. There's always a Jumbotron there.
Oh, there's like another screen. One there.
There's a big screen.
I thought you meant like they took the one from inside.
No,
and
that's a hard thing to do. I mean, it's not Pocopia where you can just like rotor the thing out with Ditto and move it outside.
We'll talk more about Pocopia soon.
But yeah, it was really fun. Even though we didn't know any of the wrestlers because they're all independent wrestlers, but I think the most impressive thing that I got from them was that they kind of like were able to tell a story like just within the 5 minutes that they had to do that. So everyone had their entrances, right? And there's like people in different costumes. Like there's one guy who like looked like he was Ultraman. Like he had like the Ultraman like full on like silver like bodysuit with like the yellow eyes and like the mask over his head. Awesome. And he was fighting. The guy he was fighting was like this guy who looked like. Do you guys watch Homestar Runner? Remember Strong Bad?
Oh yeah, of course.
He looked like
emails. What the emails?
Yeah, the email. Basically looked like Strong Bad, but like if he was an evil alien warlord.
Sick. I like to think that that's where Strong Bad ended up.
Yeah, that's kind of where his homeworld was, and he got run down. But yeah, I'll send you guys. Well, we'll put pictures and you guys can see. But like, it was really like fun to watch because he was like big and like imposing, and like the guy would just like bounce off of him, and like they'd kind of like, kind of made their match like that, and it was like obvious like who you were supposed to cheer for. Because there was like other matches, they had like people from LA and people from like the Bay Area, and obviously there's a big Northern California Southern California rivalry. So instantly, like, okay, you're supposed to boo for the LA person. They suck. Boo. Sure. So I thought it was really interesting how they kind of like were able to weave a story in like 5 minutes, basically, like based off of like their actions and kind of the cues that they give the audience. I think that's kind of a next level thinking analysis on this. But yeah, like, and they all like do bits. Like there was like comedic bits where like one guy's like, trying to shake his hand, and the other guy wouldn't, and so they did a whole thing where they shook everyone's hand in the audience and like the referee and everything. And but yeah, it was really fun. Lots of high flying stuff. Lucha Libre is all about just jumping and acrobatics, which is really cool to see.
Did you record any slow-mo videos of them flying through the air?
Oh, I didn't. I should have done that, but yeah, I didn't. But I'm sure we could have gotten some good ones. But yeah, it was like we're right by ringside. Like the people were like, the talent was right there, and yeah, it's great. Bring your kids. It's a good family-friendly event. There's so many kids there. That's like they awesome. Gave a lot of giveaways for the kids, and all the kids had like the little Lucha Libre masks. So, but yeah, highly recommend doing a wrestling show if you guys haven't been to one, especially like an independent wrestling show. And I love how like in all different kinds of like culture, like there's the indies, right? Like obviously indie games that we all know and love from this podcast, but always good to support independent, like independent wrestling, because that's where kind of the up and comers are, and that's oftentimes they'll get people who come up to the indie scene and then they become like WWE superstars. Mm-hmm. Like they kind of go through the whole like process, similar to indie bands, right?
Support music, independent art in general.
Yes, yeah, independent anybody. It takes a lot to do. It's a big grind, and it's like it's not always like pays off. But I think hopefully by supporting everything like this, like we'll get to support more artists and get more people out in the limelight. So yeah.
Sweet. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
that was like kind of
fun.
a really interesting thing to do. Yeah, I would say that. And then I can talk about Project Hail Mary. Have you guys seen that yet?
I haven't yet. I'll tell you what, I'm not going to, because I was interested
No
after
way.
because like so way back when I heard like book Project Hail Mary, it's great. I added it to the list of books that I'll maybe one day read and actually probably never actually get to. But when I heard they were making a movie, I was like, awesome. I'll wait and I'll see the movie because it's more realistic that I'll actually do that. And we talked about this on a recent episode, Andy, but I like to go into movies as blind as possible.
Yeah.
And the marketing for this movie has given away so much of it. I know so much about this movie, about this story, and I have not seen it. I haven't read a word of the book. It's all Instagram ads. It's all freaking billboards. It's website ads. It's all over the place. It's interviews with Ryan Gosling. They've given away stuff that I really would have preferred to gone into the movie not knowing about. And it's at the point now where like every time someone talks about it or I see like an ad for it, I'm like, ugh, and I just scroll. I don't even want to see it anymore, you know?
Well, that's kind of like why did you can like not watch the ads? Can you like just like not do that if you didn't?
Sure.
Wanna,
I mean, it's just like it's annoying. It's if I'm scrolling through Instagram, it's every two things. It's Ryan Gosling's face again. Look, he's as handsome as they get, but I have a limit. I can only take so much.
It's to prevent you doom scrolling.
Yeah,
sure,
that's
how they do that. Like, nope, you got to get off Instagram now, or you're gonna.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting
it's not only
there,
Instagram though. It's everywhere. The marketing for this movie is everywhere.
Yeah, they turned it up because it's a big movie for them.
I
mean,
get
they
it,
need
but
to get to be successful.
At a certain point, I just like it crossed a line where I was like, well, I'm just sick of this now.
All right, well, you're missing one of the best movies you'll ever see. It's
really
incredible. It's incredible. It's
wow.
It's so fun. I mean, I saw it last week, or I saw it early. I like seeing things early, so I saw it before release. It's just a nice, uplifting, funny story about people who can do their jobs really well. It's almost like competence porn, where it's like, oh my god, people can actually do their job well and even exceed their expectations. That's like, wow.
That's kind of The Martian had a lot of that going on too, where it's like, hey, here's a guy who he's so good at being a botanist that he, kept himself alive on Mars.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, obviously same author of book authors, Andy Weir. He wrote The Martian and he wrote Project Hail Mary, and he also worked at Blizzard before. If you guys,
and his name is Andy.
And his name is Andy, so a lot of things going well for this guy.
Check
all the boxes. Also, the same screenwriter. So the screenwriter of this movie is Drew Goddard, who, if you'll remember, he did The Cabin in the Woods, which is a really fun horror movie.
It's a great horror movie.
Yeah, I'm glad you got it. I was like, I'm Cabin in the Woods stan, such a good movie. And he also did Bad Times at El Royale, and he also wrote lots of TV shows that us millennials would like. Like he wrote Buffy, Alias, Lost. Like really good screenwriter, like Chandler all in. Yeah. But both those guys, those authors, so they had the screenwriter and the author like work on the movies, both movies, so The Martian and Project Hail Mary. So it's really well written, and it's directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who did the Lego movie, awesome movie, 21 Jump Street,
Spider-Verse movies.
They got Shepard the Spider-Verse movies. Like these guys are like, it seems like people like keep kind of mentioning Lord and Miller as like these unknowns, but they've been around forever and they've done like
they're pretty prolific. They've done a lot of the amazing films, really big stuff. Were they? Wait, did they? No, I'm not going to say. I don't want to like start speculating.
They directed this movie, both of them, and I think this is like actually the first movie they've directed in 10 years, which is wild. Like,
wow, crazy.
Them like personally directing. I mean, they produced obviously the Spider-Verse movies and a lot of other stuff.
Okay.
And so. But yeah, it's got everything about it's great. You should support this movie because everything in this movie is not CGI. It's all practical. Like
really? For
the characters, like for Rocky, they had like actual puppets. There's like 5 puppeteers that like animate some of these characters. It's not CGI. They built all these sets. Like it costs like $200 million, I think I want to say. Like it costs a lot of money. But if anything, like this is the kind of movie I want to like support as like a movie, as a consumer, just like encourage Hollywood to, not really CGI AI slop, but hey, like pay actual craftspeople, pay set designers, pay artists, pay puppeteers. Pay
marketers for getting the word out very well about the movie.
The marketing has been pretty good, I think. Just it's getting people to like, watch the movie. And it opened
it's getting me to not
weekend.
Watch the movie, but I think
you're kind of a special snowflake there. It had the second highest non-franchise opening of all time, behind Oppenheimer.
That's wild.
Some $80.5 million over the weekend. So
Ryan Gosling's face on a poster, man.
It's again, that's 10. I mean, my problem with the movie is that he was, I can't think of Ryan Gosling as other than Ken. I feel like he's just very Ken.
I mean, he was in so many notable roles before that I feel like
for
Ken
sure
was a drop in the bucket.
But I think, yeah. But just like
I'm
I think,
the Notebook. He's always the Notebook guy.
I've never seen the Notebook,
yes!
which is wild.
Oh, man.
Well, I'll say this. The reason I say that is because like in the movie, his like jokes are kind of like very Ken jokes or Ken like kind of demeanor. Okay. And it's hard for me to like reconcile. This is like the best molecular biologist in the world. And then it's like,
but in the end, is he Knuff?
Is he Knuff? He's got, but he's so charming. Obviously, like, you know, anyone who likes, you know, Ryan will be in this movie. Basically, it's like Castaway in space, essentially.
Just pretend that this is what the guy from Driver did later or something like that.
Woof. Yeah, no. But yeah, I mean, I think everyone should see it. The kids will love it. It's a great, like, it's almost like, it's like a Pixar movie made into real life. Just how kind of like inspiring it is. Cause it's just,
wow.
It's like, I think the most unrealistic thing is that like all the countries in the world would kind of cooperate on anything. Like that's more unrealistic than anything else you could tell me in space. Like what that could happen in space. So
is he selling you on this yet? Is he turning around the anti-market?
I want to see it more than I did before, but I'm still probably not going to.
And you're also lucky that all of us are lucky enough to be in a metropolitan area where you can see the movie in 70 millimeter IMAX in like the real IMAX. So we got the Metreon over here, and Chandler, you got the Lincoln Square AMC Theater, which is I think the biggest screen in the world. We have the second biggest screen in the world. I think it's like 2 feet up, like, you know, shorter than yours, but like it's
now I have to go. Now I have to go just to say I've been. Yeah.
We got to book a flight to New York so we can see it on the biggest.
Yeah,
none of the second biggest nonsense.
Yeah.
No, I think when you're out here.
There's only like 10 or 11 theaters in the world that can do this, like can actually show the, you know, full IMAX 70 millimeter. And it's it really, it's a cool thing to notice that the scenes in space are in like full IMAX, you know, like aspect ratio. And then when it shifts to another perspective, it goes to like kind of the, you know, the regular 2.37, the widescreen. So it's kind of a subtle visual cue. I love
the
this
space
like
stuff look more kind of grand,
immersive.
Expansive.
Yeah, more grand. Yeah, I'm a big like aspect ratio nerd. You know, so you guys love you know, screens.
On that note, did you see Sinners there?
I did. Yes, I see every IMAX movie at Met. I mean, we're lucky like we have this. It's like, you know, people are like talking about how they're like 500 miles away from the nearest IMAX. And I'm like, oh, that sucks for you. But
you can hop on a train and be there in a few minutes.
Yeah, I can walk there actually. It's
you can walk
easy
there?
for me.
Nice.
I can. It's kind of like I'm spoiled because I knew that, but
awesome.
But Chandler can hop on a quick train, 40 minutes, and get into Lincoln Center.
Yeah, it's got to be a movie that's worth it to actually go into the city to see.
Yeah.
And as easy as it is to get to the city, it's not.
Yeah, of course. You know,
the
it's
most convenient thing in the world. But
at least enough to get like a babysitter. But like, even if you had a child, like if they weren't of age yet, I would say this is. On the scale for parents, this is a babysitter worthy movie in terms of going into the theater, because it's so like much better. It's so much more immersive in the giant screen, because obviously there's some movies that, you know, can work just as well at home. Or I never advocate for watching movies on airplanes because I think it sucks. But like you can if, you know, obviously you're bored and you need to. But yeah, just like the sheer scale of this and everything I just mentioned earlier, right? It's like all like actual practical crafts, practical shooting, and Lord Miller, and it's all things that we want to support. So I think that's, even though it's a big budget Amazon movie, that's like the least good thing about it, is that it's an Amazon MJ movie. But other than that, it's...
Do you want to guess what the last movie that I watched through the cracks in the seats on an airplane because somebody else was watching it was, with no sound?
Sinners or One Battle of Throne? I don't know.
Probably something epic.
Oh, Nora.
Yeah, somebody had the nerve to watch that on a plane. So obviously, I mean, it was hard to not be constantly distracted by that, like just out of my
but you didn't
line of sight.
But we haven't seen the movie, right?
I haven't seen the movie. I have now. I haven't heard it, but I've seen it with subtitles. I've seen it silent with subtitles.
Oh, you've actually read? Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, because I was on a plane and I was trying to play a game or something, but there she is dancing with no clothes on right there. And like the lady's just watching. So, because that movie has a lot of nudity and like really raunchy scenes in it. And this lady was watching it on an airplane, man. It's crazy.
Was it on the airplane's in-flight entertainment system?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like on her iPad or on her phone.
But that's crazy that they put that on the in-flight. Like, it's kids on that plane, man.
It's a Best Picture winner. I mean, what Best Picture last year from the Oscars?
I mean, the movie, I will say that it legitimately was I mean, I unfortunately couldn't hear it, but what I saw, it was great.
Oh yeah, it was my favorite movie last year. I saw it twice in theaters.
Just wild to watch it on an airplane.
It's an incredible, yeah. It is, yeah, it's
a choice. It's a choice.
Well, I mean,
I've watched like Deadpool and Wolverine on an airplane though, so
that's fair. But people aren't having sex every 5 minutes in that movie.
I mean, I will say that the nudity dials down immediately after like the first.
It does after a while, but there's a lot of it front loaded there to get through all that. Like it's you didn't turn.
We're a sex positive podcast. It's fair. We're telling the story of sex workers is important. That's part of the movie's like goal with Sean Baker is that kind of they're actual people. They're not something that's objectified and something that's just like ooh like taboo. It's. But that is like kind of an interesting. I'm always self-conscious about like putting like nudity, or if I'm watching like Game of Thrones or something where it could be nudity, and there's like on an airplane where there's like, oh, there's kids around me, or there's
and that's what I'm saying is like maybe like it seemed like a great movie, but maybe the airplane isn't the place for it.
Yeah, well, yeah. Were there any kids around you, or no? Is it just adults?
I don't remember at this point. But,
okay.
Well, I mean, there can be kids on airplanes, and you never know who's sitting behind you. You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
Anyway,
yeah.
Moving on. Right. So a couple other things. What games have you been playing, Andy?
Oh, let's say well, I've been playing a lot of Pokopia. We can talk about that, which is wild because I hate Animal Crossing. Not hate, that's a strong word. I bought Animal Crossing. I played it for like a couple hours, and I'm like, it's not for me. Like I need more like structure and stuff in my.
We can talk more about it, but the marketing makes it look Animal Crossing-ish, but it's really not.
Yeah, and but yeah, I can. Is this one anybody want to pick too, Justin? Because I can leave most of this for you.
No, it's okay. I've played a fair amount, but I have other stuff to talk about too. So feel free to kick us off with some Pokopia talk, and I can chime in and supplement. Chandler, have you played any Pokopia?
Yeah,
I've not. No,
okay. Well, feel free to jump in with any questions about it that you have too. We don't want to leave you out in the cold here while we're talking about it.
I'm woefully under Nintendo'd. I did the Switch 2 launch event in New York. I was still at Avalanche at that time, and Hogwarts Legacy was part of it. And so I was able to be part of the Switch 2 not launch event. This was the announcement event.
Oh, okay. Like
last year.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Did they give you a Switch too? Did you get something to play the game on?
They didn't.
Why not?
I mean, we gotta play it like while we were there, but yeah,
Come on, you gotta have one so you can play, so you know what the community is saying. Blah,
so you
blah,
don't
blah,
have
blah,
one.
Yeah.
You don't have a Switch 2 even.
I don't even have a Switch 2. No, my sister and brother-in-law do, or sister-in-law and brother-in-law do.
Interesting. Were you a big Switch guy though? A Switch 1 guy? Like
no, okay, I was always the PlayStation guy.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Living that PlayStation lifestyle.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, Nintendo wasn't my strong suit. Strong suit. Strong suit. Not yeah.
Sweet.
I'll allow sweet. The judges will.
Sweet. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Switch I actually like as it's like a good complementary device. I think it's great for like airplanes and for like couch when putting things on the couch. It's like the best like portable system, which sounds obvious, but it's actually like kind of a cool thing to have. It's like, yeah, when your like wife is watching TV and you want to hang out with her, but you can still like do something on the couch with her. But you know, that's kind of still gaming.
Or what we've been doing a lot lately is I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter on the TV, and I let my kid play Splatoon 3 on the Switch, so that we can both be playing games at the same time.
Yeah, it's kind of it's kind of lets you.
It's also
kind of
games you can't get anywhere else.
True. Yes, like, of course. Yeah.
Nintendo titles are just so
absolutely
unique in what they are.
Yeah, and that's like the big reason why I have one. Obviously, is the Nintendo titles, but so Pokopia, like it's kind of like the perfect game for this platform because it's like normally I'm usually like a monogamous gamer in that I only like playing one game at a time because I want to finish the game because I don't want to get distracted by multiple games and keeping track of stories and like gameplay mechanics. Like I'm usually just one through, but this game is actually perfect for like your side game because it's like it's like bite-sized gameplay chunks and you can feel like you're doing something. So it's very like, you know, it's very cozy. It's very like you build stuff and like you take care of like your Pokemon, meaning like you know give them food or you give them whatever their desire is of the day. Like if they want more toys or they want whatever. But you can like make like little bits of intimacy progress, just like and little like chunks of like progress throughout the day. So it's very like mobile, like almost like a mobile game where it's like you can just do a little bit and it's like stop. And because there's no like there is a story which I actually like. There's a kind of a meta narrative that's it's going somewhere, which is keeping me into it.
It's
but
really
you don't have
interesting.
Mhm.
Surprisingly like mature, but presented in a really friendly, accessible way.
Yeah. It's like the plot of Nier Automata, like, not kidding, but it's no, it's like a post-apocalyptic, presumably, like situation where all the humans are gone,
and all these
and
sweet Pokemon are like, oh, someday the humans will come back.
Yeah, and like you're exploring these like ruins of cities where there's like signs and like on the ground there's like artifacts of like CD players, like where the humans used to be. It's like it feels very like almost post-apocalyptic, but it's cute.
Yeah, I saw something. There was a really fun little lore entry that I picked up one time that said it was something along the lines of like, oh yeah, we know that with all the music streaming services shutting down, people are trying to figure out where to listen to music. Well, let me tell you about this amazing thing called the compact disc.
Yes.
That's right, the CD. And the best thing is it's a one-time purchase, which means that you could, once you buy it, you can listen to the music as many times as you want without having to pay for it again. Like that was literally like the lore entry was an advertisement for a CD because all the streaming services were being shut down.
Wow, based Nintendo or based Dragon Build. What's the studio that built this?
The Koei Tecmo, the
Koei
Dragon
Tecmo
Quest
team?
builders
Yeah, based.
team.
Wow.
That's something else that not a lot of people realize is that this is made by the Dragon Quest builders team, or co-developed by Koei Tecmo, who did Dragon Quest Builders and the sequel to that, which were both very well received. So they've had a couple games to refine this formula, and it's just such a good game.
Yeah, it's a dark meta narrative,
isn't it?
It's interestingly like when you dig into it a little bit more, it's like WALL-E or Cars or something, where when you really think about the lore of the world, and you're like, oh, that's kind of dark, actually.
Yeah, you're looking at through the eyes of these innocent creatures, almost like through a child's eyes.
Yeah,
like oh, what's going on here? Oh well, I guess I'll just like keep gardening and make sure it's nice when mom and dad get home. It's.
Yeah, no, that's why it's like it's wild because it's like almost like near Automata like, and like the humans aren't there and there's like the stuff that's happening, but yeah, it's very cute, like it's very kid friendly, and that's not to say if the kids won't really get that meta nerve yet, hopefully, unless they are accelerated, but yeah, that meta nerve is actually keeping me engaged because normally with these games like for Animal Crossing or for Minecraft, it's too overwhelming. There's all this stuff options to do, and this game gives you like kind of quests and like kind of mini objectives which help me along with these kinds of games, so give me like a direction where to go. So I'm actually it's actually hitting for me pretty big, so that's one of the things there. Awesome. And that's like balance. My other gaming that I want to talk about a little bit is Marathon, but quickly I want to ask Chandler, are you playing Marathon? Given that we're Destiny friends from
no, not yet. I've been with the launch of Hogwarts Legacy and then the long distance travel and stuff, I was like constantly without my PS5 for a really long time.
Do you have it now?
Yeah, I've got it here now. It was just hard to keep up on a lot of gaming stuff. So I'm currently my wife saw me playing Expedition 33 once, and so I started that over to play through the whole thing with her. Not so still working through that. And then just generally, haven't been gaming as much recently, so getting back into it. But yeah, Marathon definitely is one that I want to. I was skeptical a little bit at first, but the launch seems like it's gone really well, and I've been fairly impressed with what I've seen so far.
That's a positive word of mouth.
Yeah, no, I'll say like I'm kind of similar. Like, guys, similar to me, similar to you, Shannon. Like, I didn't play many games last year, or maybe a year and a half. That's why I have my friend Justin here to help share gaming experiences on this podcast. Let me know what's in. But this year I've been gaming a lot, and I think I don't know, whatever. I mean, there's been a lot of great releases too. I mean, Resident Evil Requiem we talked about earlier last week. But Marathon, like I did not like the alpha. I did not like the beta, and I played kind of the test last year and a little bit just to try it out, and I just like I'm not an extraction shooter person. I just don't get it. I just don't like. That's just not what I'm into. But I got the game last week, and I like put a lot of time in over the weekend. So this is like new for me, like last 3 days. And increasingly, I'm actually hooked on this game now. Like I want to play this game every day, which is interesting because like I never thought I'd be like an extraction shooter person. But I think the way I know. I think
I've
the
heard that it
biggest thing.
kind of subverts some of the extraction shooter stuff you might be expecting, though, right? Have you
What does that mean?
discovered any ways that like the meta game shifts your perception at all? Because I've seen a lot of think pieces written about Marathon and like, oh, like Marathon is changing the way that I think about extraction shooters and stuff like that. Have you gotten that vibe from it at all, or are you still just kind of getting your bearings?
I mean, I'll say actually, I'll go one step in that. I think Marathon is shifting my perspective on gaming in general. Like it's kind of like
Whoa.
shifted my brain. Like it's kind of
Okay.
re-altered my brain chemistry, so to speak, to be
How
more
so?
dramatic. Because I think just the way I approach the game is like different, and I think a lot of people too are going to get this if they don't play extraction shooters. Is that you have to get over losing your gear, which is like that's the first thing, right? That's the first thing you have to figure out is that because in Destiny, all of us play Destiny, like the gear is the most, it's like kind of defines your experience, right? It's like, oh, I got the exotic or I got, per god roll weapon, armor, or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's always there for you. It's, oh, I finally did it. In this game, like if you get something like that, like if you die, you lose it. It's gone forever.
Even if you get it in
And
UX, Phil, if you bring it into a future mission and you lose it, right?
exactly. Yeah. You risk it every time you bring it out into the field.
Yeah.
And you could die for any number of bullshit reasons. Like you get disconnected, you lose it.
Really?
Yeah, you get disconnected, you lose it. And you just get an unlucky spawn and someone like creeps up on you and kills you like in the first 30 seconds, which has happened to me a lot.
Flip.
You die, you lose it. And so that's something you have to get over. And I got over this pretty fast, and that you realize that, well, the game has like ways of like keeping you in the game if you die. So there's like these things called sponsored kits where like if you have no gear or if you don't want to take your own gear, you can bring a free sponsored kit from one of the different factions. And it's, you can get out there and shoot things. It's not very good, but it's something to get out there. And so that's kind of like my like fallback is like, oh, if I know I'm going to die, if I don't know this map really well, I'm going to take this until I learn the map. So you kind of can do that. But then even the times where I get like good shit, like I have like, a blue gun or whatever, and I die. I'm like, okay, well, it wasn't mine to begin with.
Is blue good?
You have to like think of it as like
are
all
we
the gears
dealing with
borrowed.
like green, blue, purple, gold like before, or is it what's the rarity breakdown?
I think the difference is like the mods. So I think most guns are actually white level, but if you put like green and blue mods on it, the gun itself becomes green, blue, and whatever.
Like
I mean, I've yet to get
Apex
any
style.
yellows or reds. I think there's like those are the higher tiers.
Cool.
I'm not far enough the game to get there yet, but yeah, it's just like getting over the gear fear, I think, is a huge
so if it's not
change.
the promise of a Vex Mythoclast or a Gallarhorn keeping you coming back, what is it that's keeping you playing Marathon?
I would say, I mean, for me, I like narrative. So right now I'm working my way through the story missions, and so there's each of these like different factions that you like run contracts for, which is essentially running like bounties or quests for Destiny players or any like quests.
Sure.
It's
okay.
And the game story is told through those. So once you do like these they call priority contracts, and they're kind of like story missions essentially, where you do it, and then once you beat it, there's like the little cutscene where like the leader talks to you, which is a kind of the other thing. The game has really amazing art. I think the art and like the style is like so unique. It's like very cyberpunk horror / whatever. It's like very like bold and like brash, which I think
do
is
like
very
the borderline like oppressive vibes that it gives off.
Yeah, like the evil corporation, or like there's like the anti-establishment, like revolutionary kind of like MIDA. That's what they are. But yeah, they're like punk. They're very punk bros. They got like their face paint, and like they're just like fuck the system kind of vibe. So the story is keeping me right now, and like that's kind of what is in there. And also like all the cool Bungie stuff that I think we'll love at Destiny players, that each map progressively has like a mechanic that gets involved. There's like little public events. There's like mechanics of the thing. Sorry, of each map that kind of like changes. Like one's like a vault. There's like a vault in the middle. Like once everyone unlocks it, like it unlocks for everybody, so everyone gets into the middle.
And then there's the social game of like, oh, who's going to go in first and try to get the stuff, and it's going to be a big firefight to get all the loot, right?
Yeah, and I think that's the other thing too. Is I think it just feels extremely thrilling. I don't know. It's like this nature of like kind of knowing that you'll lose all your shit. So everything you picked up is gonna go away. But like you are, and you're playing as real people and the bots. So the bots are like really good. Like they're not like throwaways like in other games, I would say. So like you have to actually go through shit to fight bots. But then at any moment, there's the danger of actually real people coming in too. And I don't know, it's kind of, maybe I'm trying to figure out how to articulate it real, but all this together, it makes for a really thrilling experience. It feels like you get such a rush when you actually, fend off everything, and you get your objective, and you leave successfully.
I
or
get
like
that.
it's.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
especially because like to leave you have to like exfiltrate out, which is kind of like in Helldivers or all these other extraction games where you have to call in a dropship to take you out, and you have to defend it for, I think you have to hide for 50 seconds while it comes down, and then you get 10 seconds in the bubble to like leave. And there's been several times where like I've escaped with like the skin of my teeth, like inside the bubble, inside the little field while down. So I'm like 1 second away from dying.
Wow. Nice.
And there's like people shooting like at my like down body, and like it leaves and like, you know, photo finish. That just feels that's like a complete rush, right? It's like, oh my God, like we got out of the skin of our teeth.
I do get the feeling from everything. I played a little bit of the Server Slam, and I've seen a lot of people talking about it. I get the feeling that this is very much a game that is more than the sum of its parts. It's, you know, you have all these different systems working in tandem, and all these kind of tweaks and nuances that they've done with these mechanics that you think you're familiar with, and just because you're right. When I played the Server Slam, when I had a couple successful runs with the Fantasy League guys, it was thrilling. But now, like going back and now, like looking back, thinking about playing the game, it's like, I don't know. And even watching streams, it's like, this doesn't seem super exciting. But going back and thinking about when I was playing it, I was like, yeah, I do remember. Like, it felt really cool when we hit that exfil and we got out with all this. Like, and that was just like, we were just scratching the surface. I was just Server Slam. So there's a lot to uncover there. But man, I don't know if I can sign up for a Bungie game right now. You know.
It's a lot, yeah. But it sounds to me too like it kind of hits that sweet spot between like a roguelike or a battle royale game where you just have to be comfortable, with starting over, with not necessarily having everything there, but with the extraction portion of it, you can pull out gear and actually have it carry over in some ways. So it's that nice balance, and for me, I'm really into like Fortnite generally, as a battle royale where I can just like pop in and play a couple matches and, you know, do whatever and not have to like
do a raid.
Yeah, exactly. Or like go for gear and go for what exhausted me about Destiny was realizing, why am I going for this god roll of this like next gun where I got, you know, there's something in my vault from 5 years ago that literally does exactly what this does.
I farmed for that for 12 hours. I used it twice.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, to be fair, there are guns that you will keep on using forever, but yeah, there's some point that you have enough. Like, you don't need, you don't really need
anymore. It's like, what is really the draw of this like next thing that I'm getting? Whereas something that's like starting me over every time, it really comes back to my own skill, my own, like, if I don't have a god roll of whatever, if I don't have the perfect thing, if I don't have exactly the meta, I can still play to my skill.
Or even like below your skill, right? Oh, sorry, even below geared, but above what you can achieve with that, right?
Like your skill can make up the gear difference. Where in something like Destiny, there were certain thresholds where your skill could not make up the gear difference. If you didn't have the gear for it, you just
it was gated by it.
You were completely gated.
It has been really interesting to see developers toy with the idea, and this is kind of looking at the meta level of game development, but over the past few years, seeing the success of so many roguelike games and seeing them toy with that idea of the progression slider. How much progression do we allow the player to make in this game, and what is that presented as, and what redefining, asking the question of why are we playing this game, not just chasing loot, not just trying to get better stuff or whatever, but something. I'm thinking about a game like Balatro or a Blueprints where progression looks different in those games than it does in, you know, a Destiny or so. So, now it sounds like Marathon is doing a lot different too, especially where Destiny fans are going to be in for a shock where it's like, wait, resets every season? I'm going to lose all my stuff? Like, what are you talking about? Like,
it wipes all your rep progress is wiped every season, I think. And
so what do you keep going? What do you keep across seasons?
You keep all your cosmetics. So like the big part of the progression is kind of the triumph system, or, you know, the achievements for Destiny, where like if you do a certain thing, you get like the weapon cosmetics. So the cosmetics are a big kind of permanent thing that you get, which is like, you know, in Destiny, honestly, the fashion game and all these MMOs.
That's what I was ultimately after. Anyway, it was the cosmetics.
I mean, so that's a big part of it. And then I think you keep like, if you want, because there's like these intro contracts where you unlock each faction. So I think next season, like, you will start with the factions unlocked already. So it's like a decent bit of progress that you can save for every season. But I think the biggest thing for me is that the skill you take and the friends you made along the way. No, but I think
that
learning
is
the
true.
map.
That, I mean, you joke, but I mean, we
No,
are friends that we made along the way. Destiny is ultimately the friends we made along the way.
It's literally this
Demonstrably.
podcast right now.
But it's also but in terms of a skill standpoint, it's kind of like, you remember you guys played The Witness, right? I know Justin's Witness.
Oh
is
yeah, one of my top 5
favorite games.
Same. Amazing puzzle game, But one of the cool takeaways from The Witness is like when you learn each puzzle, like you learn it forever.
Yeah.
Right. It's like not like a little like,
I don't know if I would remember them all if I went back now. But yeah, I understand the point that you're making.
At the time, right? And like it's not like, like a key that you have in your inventory. It's like the actual brain knowledge to do whatever the thing you need to do is. And like similarly for Marathon, I think it's a lot of it's the knowledge of like the maps, the mechanics, and like kind of the awareness of the game space that you can bring to the next season, where it's like you'll have a leg up for sure because you know the map. I'm assuming they have the same maps. I don't know. They have new maps, but you'll bring that into it. I think that's like more valuable than any sort of gear. To Chandler's point earlier, right? It's like your skill could overcome any gear deficiency because that's the most important thing. So that's like really interesting. And similar with roguelikes, right? Like a lot of the progression roguelikes is the skill that you learn along the way too.
Yeah,
which I find just like
I could start a new save file on Balatro and have a killer run, even though I have not unlocked very much because I have that progression up here. I know how the game works. It's the same thing with a game like Hades, which I know this conversation came up a lot when Hades was making the rounds, the first one, of, the progression is the skill that you're gaining over the course of these runs. But also we give you a little bit of progression on the side, too, to sprinkle that in.
And then there's also a meta progression in Marathon as well. Like so for the priority contracts, like for a lot of them, you get the progress even if you die. So unless it says like X fill out with the blank, like you will get the progress as soon as you do the thing. So like there are like things where like, there's better progression that's not just
if you fail a run, it's not necessarily a complete failure because you can still make progress against the stuff you're working on.
Exactly, and you'll get the XP from like anything you kill. Like you'll get the XP for that. So there's always like mini things along the way.
It's more nuanced than like die equals reset. It's
it's not exactly. So it's like a roguelike that has like a little bit of things that keep it going along.
Yeah. It sounds interesting. I'm this close. I'm this close to buying it, but I'll probably break down when it goes on sale.
He's this close to watching Project Hail Mary.
Yeah,
I'm not this close to watching Project Hail Mary. Little further away on that one.
Yeah, but it's just really to kind of wrap it up. Like I feel like in many ways this game has rewired my brain in terms of how I approach it. Right, so I approach it with the knowledge is the loot, right, and like. Because you're going to lose everything. Everything else is kind of like just a tool, or the gear is like a means to get there, and like just like kind of mini progress and like kind of so just rewiring your brain. I think to expect to die a lot and expect to like do all this stuff, and it's quite an interesting experience. And I've heard the game is like really hard, and it is pretty hard, but I don't think it's like impossibly hard. Like it's.
The one time I played, we had some pretty good runs. Like it didn't seem that hard to me, but I probably just got luckier. I was playing with some MVPs.
Yeah, like people. Yeah, I think. Yeah, that could help too. But like, still, it's not like I don't think it's like extremely unapproachable. I think the three of us actually we should do a fire team at some point. Us three kind of get back together, get the band back together because 3 is the fire team right in band.
The first time the game goes on sale, I'm probably going to break down and buy it.
Nice. Yes.
There we go. Good benchmark.
I'm kind of in a Marathon now. I was not in, and this is making me rethink extraction shooters because I really don't like. I don't like looting. I don't like inventory management. A lot of that is in this game, but it's kind of like I played a lot of Resident Evil last week, Chandler. I played Requiem, which is an amazing game. You should play it if you're into horror movies or horror games. But a lot of that game is also like puzzle inventory management of like keeping the right things. That's kind of like in here too. It's like that. Oh, and it's like Metal Gear. It's like there's a stealth game involved in Marathon too. Like you're like Metal Gear. Like you're.
even closer to buying it now.
Like there's a lot of like mission runs I have where I'm like just by myself and I'm like just crouching in the shadows and just like kind of I want to do my shit and leave without tipping anyone off that I'm there. And like that's very self game. It's very like Metal Gear. So like it's really interesting how many different kinds of gameplay mechanics and like mentalities that this game the Marathon can bring to the table. And obviously there's the whole PvP and battle royale stuff, right, where you can go in, you can go in as like a hit squad basically and you can kill everybody if you want, but people are just doing their own thing. It's It's quite interesting. So I'm like, so I've come around a marathon. That's in conclusion.
I'm interested. You had my curiosity. Now you have my attention.
Yes, nice.
We'll see where that goes.
Yeah. I want to throw it a bit Chandler because I know I've been monopolizing the conversation a little bit, but you mentioned Expedition 33. So that's kind of the big game you've been playing recently.
Yeah.
Careful with spoilers because my cutoff is the end of Act 1. That's where I'm at.
End of Act 1. Okay. I believe at the end of Act 2. I haven't finished Act 2, but I believe I'm right at
it's getting good.
So I guess we won't talk about story elements broadly speaking, but I guess talking about the game in general. What do you think about it? What's your take on Expedition 33 based on what you've played?
I love it. It's got enough style that like my wife's been loving watching it, and she's like, the soundtrack is so cool, and she loves to see the story and just the art style and everything.
Oh yeah, SKA.
SKA. Does she love SKA?
Yeah. Yeah. All of that. The gameplay for me is I love that every character, like it's this turn-based game, turn-based RPG, but like every character is unique in their mechanics and just the way you have to learn not only how they synergize with themselves, but like how they synergize overall and together as a team and how to put all that together. It's just I don't know, every like layer that's unfolded with it. At first I was kind of like, this seems kind of like simple, but then some layer unfolds and you're like, oh, well that's cool. I like that. And then you get a new character and some new layer unfolds, and it's just there's also the mechanic of I'm playing it on hard difficulty because I really want to challenge myself with the dodging and the parries and everything, but I love that you can go in kind of underleveled to things and still come out successful as long as you're good with dodges and parries, and that it's not this impossible game where there's these gates. There's like a skill level again that's
the marathon.
It's not about gearing up, it's not about leveling up, but if you know what you're doing and you have your timing right, which I'm still a gifted youngster, so my timing is still okay at the
what's the most parries you've gotten in a battle? Have you like triple digits?
I don't even remember now. Okay. I did the battle against the bouncing face guy. And I beat that. So
that's like 23
with only parries because I didn't think about dodging during it, which was probably really dumb.
Wait, can you dodge that guy? You have to parry him, right?
I was like, oh, you can just dodge.
You can dodge? I thought you had to parry him. Oh.
No, I think I read afterwards that you can just dodge with it. You don't have to parry every single one. But it's something like you get to the end of it and it's like 126 parries total because it builds up 2, then 4, then 6, then 8, then
that's
game hard.
Nope.
Yeah, it is.
It's like timing. It's at that point, so you're playing Mario Brothers, it's just timing.
Yeah.
Timing the jumps.
But I love it. And there's a couple of bosses that like will get a little frustrating, and my wife's like, all right, I'm bored of watching you now. Just try and rebeat this boss. And so then while she's at work, I'll have to like work on leveling up or work on skilling up or whatever. And then she comes back and I'm like, okay, now we can go through and beat this boss and continue on with the story.
That's funny. Nice. That's how I do it when I'm playing a game with my kid too. Is when he's at school and I'm playing a game, I'll work on leveling up or doing side quests and stuff. Like Pokemon Legends Z. I tried to keep the story stuff for him and then go just catch Pokemon and do shiny hunting while he's gone and all that.
Exactly. I'm like all the side stuff, all the have you seen the part that's like the only up level basically in Expedition 33?
Like the tower? Like the
Gestural Beach where you climb to the top and it's basically functions as like an only up style gameplay where you're platforming all the way to the top. It's the most frustrating thing in the world.
Yeah, and it's intentionally like wonky because the controls are like the camera and like the mantling is like not the best.
It's the mantling where you run and you jump and you're like, mantle please. Nope. Okay, I'm gonna go straight all the way down to the bottom. Stuff like that. Like I don't play with her here because she's just like watching me do that, and she's like, I want to know why all the things are happening
the
and
story,
the gommage and all of this. Why is that? Why are you climbing on floating objects? This is dumb. And I'm like, because I need my swimsuit outfits for my party. Like, come on.
Yeah. You need that platinum trophy. That's obscure.
And the platinum trophy. And the platinum trophy. Yes.
I got the platinum for that game, Chandler. Expedition 3. I had not gotten the platinum in years, but that was like the one game where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
Congrats.
You're on your way there.
Yeah. It'll probably be my next one. I'm working on it.
It's very doable. That's why I'll say it's very doable. It's not like, it's not extremely bad. Nice. But yeah, can't wait for you to get through Act 2 and 3, and Justin's got to get through the game because the game is actually incredible. Like I think I talked to this in an earlier episode, but I also got to this game late. I got to it like a month ago, I think, as well. So like it's so good. You get.
I was playing it, and then Death Stranding 2 came out, and I wanted to check that out, and then I got distracted, and life happened.
Yeah, you gotta.
So that's why get back to Andy's a monogamous gamer. You got to stick with your one game.
This is exactly why.
But speaking of platinum trophies, I am on my way to getting one in Monster Hunter Wilds, which is a game that I finally went back to about a month or so ago. I finally went back and revisited it because Capcom has made a lot of updates, and the game is running well now. And they've changed a lot about the way that certain systems work, and it's generally well regarded within the Monster Hunter community now. So I was like, okay, I'll check it out because they were doing the event where all the seasonal things came back. So perfect opportunity to go back and just do all the events that I didn't do, over the course of the year while I wasn't playing the game. So I did that, and man, Monster Hunter Wilds is a great game. It's such a shame that it was saddled with so many technical issues at launch that kind of mired the community's perception of it from the get-go, because underneath all that is a really incredible game, just like the past few Monster Hunter games have been. So yeah, I had a great time playing through the story, and I am deep into the end game. I actually... the other thing that I've been doing is I got back into watching some Twitch streams, and I found a Monster Hunter streamer and started watching their streams and joined their squad in Monster Hunter and have been playing the game with them. So like when she goes live, like everybody goes into that squad lobby and gets together for hunts. So I've been going in and doing that.
How many people is this?
I think she usually has like a couple dozen people in her stream. She's not a huge streamer. Shout out to Rain Skyheart though. Go check out her stream. Really fun Monster Hunter streamer. And I've been playing with those folks for the past few days, and it's been a lot of fun doing.
Well, I mean, there's 24 people in the game at once, or like?
Oh, you can have in a lobby. You can have tons, like 100, really? I think 100 or something people in a lobby at the same time. But
what? How does that work?
You can only have like 4 people. You can only have 4 people go on a hunt at once.
Oh, okay.
So you can have a lot of people in kind of a lobby, which is like an instance of the game. So like you can spin up. So if I go, the squad is called Hammer Bros. So if I go squad, or if I go lobby, search for lobby, squad lobby, Hammer Bros, then if nobody's in there, then it will spin up an instance of the game for the Hammer Bros squad. And now anybody from that squad who decides to log into that lobby will join me there. And then from there, we can post hunts to go on together. Or we can go explore the world together, do whatever. We can hang out in the Grand Hub and just dance together, whatever. They have social MMO stuff too. It's kind of MMO light. Because the Monster Hunter games do eventually end. They support them for usually about a year, and then there's an expansion, and they support that for a while, and then they announce the next game. They wind down this one as they start promoting the next one. So if you keep up with the releases, then it's kind of like an MMO where you're not paying a subscription fee. You're just buying the games and expansions, and you're constantly fed with this fresh new content. But it's just, but you could also go back, and because they become, at the end of it, it's a completed game. You can I could go back and play. I could keep playing Monster Hunter World. It's not getting new content, but it is now a complete game. All of the post game stuff is there. All the monsters they're ever going to add are there. There's a period put on that. You can still go back and play it if you love Monster Hunter World, and a lot of people do. Going back to even older, a lot of people still like to play Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. Something like that. I forget, but it's the older style Monster Hunter. I can't play anything pre-World, because World is where the mechanics got more accessible. But yeah, a lot of fans of the older Monster Hunter games still playing them. So yeah, it's a really interesting, like not quite an MMO, but it takes kind of the best parts of MMOs in that like you get new content regularly up to a certain point, but you don't have to pay extra for it, which is awesome. So until the DLC comes, and then you make a choice of do I want to keep playing this game? If so, then I'm going to buy the DLC, and whole new set of monsters, whole new difficulty unlocked, whole new set of weapons and armor and story. And the expansions for Monster Hunter games are basically whole new games. It's wild. Wild.
I've always tried to wrap my head around Monster. Is it kind of like just big boss battles essentially, right? Are you just like chasing like bosses?
It's basically just boss fights. Yeah, it's boss fights, but the mechanics. I likened this before when we were talking to the Fantasy League guys a few episodes ago. I think I likened it to a fighting game where you have to pay attention to things like spacing. You have to like learn each weapon is a different character you have to learn, because the different weapons in Monster Hunter play completely differently. They're like playing a completely different game. So you have to, whichever weapon you choose, you have to learn how to play it before you take it out on hunts. And
then you have to learn how to play it versus those particular monsters. I played a lot of Monster Hunter World when it first came out.
Yeah. So there'll be certain monsters where it's like, well, I know that this one is really fast, so maybe I'll bring dual blades, and I'll be more maneuverable, or I'll bring a shield because this one does a really big attack that I'm going to need to block a lot and stuff like that. So just Monster Hunter is 100% the kind of game that you get out of it what you put in. Like the more you play it, the more of it's got so many layers, the more of its systems you uncover, and the more I played for probably 100 hours before I realized that when I'm playing Charge Blade, I don't actually have to hold triangle or circle during Savage Axe mode. I can hold R2, and then that frees up my right thumb to move the right stick. So because I was crossing my left thumb over to try and move the right stick while I'm holding triangle. Real Monster Hunter shit, man. Like remember back in the PSP days, having to play claw, like it's. But I was watching a YouTube short of all things. I think it was like, I'll bet you didn't know this about Charge Blade, and I was like, I don't know. I've been playing for 100 hours, and he was like, you can just hold R2, and I was like, no way. And I went and tried it. I was like, this is a game changer. So that's how I play the game now. It's nuts. There's so much. Every time I think I've learned everything about a specific weapon in that game, it's like, no, there's more. There's another layer to it that you haven't even uncovered yet. And there's more nuance to it.
This is like probably the reason why I will not play Monster Hunter, is because like it just seems so like you have to put a lot into it to get a lot out of it.
You don't have to. You can, and you'll get a whole lot, but it's still really fun.
It just sounds. I've tried multiple times to get through like the first part of. I actually own Wilds. I keep trying to get through it. And like, it's like, yeah, I did like the tutorial and get there, but it's like it just hasn't clicked for me yet. Kind of like some of the marathon other games where it hasn't clicked for me yet, and it's just it just feels so overwhelming with all the different. There's so many icons, so many.
You got to
things,
give it longer than like the tutorial. Like you got to put some time into it.
Yeah, I feel like I've tried it several times, and I mean, one day I'm going to get back to it too. I do own the game, so I want to at least like kind of
to be your guide through the wild.
Thank you. I will. Yes, I'll let you know when I do. But it got me. It's like interesting. Like there's all these games now where I think this made me think about Crimson Desert. Which have you guys seen the discourse around Crimson Desert recently?
I've seen the discourse.
You guys know what it is? Okay. Yeah. I mean, a lot of things to talk about, but one thing I wanted to talk about was more like I saw a lot of reviewers and people say that it gets good 10 hours in, or it gets good 30 hours in. And that made me think of like, I think when I was a kid, I'd be, yeah, sure, I'll devote the first 10 hours to knowing this game. But now as an adult, I'm like, I can't, I got to hook me within like at least hour maybe, or 10, I mean, ideally within 10 minutes. That's hard though. But, but an hour or like 10 hours is a lot. That's 5 movies.
That's a valid argument, but I actually saw somebody make the point the other day that it depends on the context. If we're talking about an MMO, 10 hours is a drop in the bucket, and you have to know what type of game it is you're going into. Like Destiny, 10 hours in Destiny, like that's nothing. Like I wouldn't say that Destiny is good within the first 10 hours if you go to start playing. Like it's okay, but like it really really gets good once you get to like the raids and once you're doing endgame state where you're doing dungeons and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I know your point is, yeah, I think it's a context on like type of content, which is a valid kind of like logical argument. I'm just going like absolutely like from an just a standpoint of I don't have 10 hours to spend on a video game to like
That's
learn
fair.
or to see if I want to like it. I think that's the biggest thing for me with these games is that
That's fair.
that's like I can play through the entirety of Resident Evil Requiem in 10 hours or less. Like and which is like, obviously different structure, different folks, whatever you're in the mood for. But personally, like I'm more like, I love kind of spending. I love more narrative based games because you can kind of get through those in like between 6 to 10 hours, which is kind of like the sweet spot.
All I'm hearing is that Resident Evil Requiem gets good within the first 10 hours.
Yes, it does. It gets good within the first 10 minutes.
Meanwhile, 10 hours is like a few hunts for me in Monster Hunter.
Yeah, it's just a really interesting kind of just observation of kind of different gamers have different kind of like mentalities. There's a lot of it's about perspective too, right? I mean, we've talked this episode about like kind of changing your perspective on what you want to get out of a game or what you want to or how you approach playing the game, right? And it really does make a difference because if you're in the mood for an MMO or kind of a big kind of deep experience, like Monster Hunter Wild sounds like a great kind of thing to try, or like Crimson Desert even. Like if you want to basically explore for like dozens and hundreds of hours, like sounds like it's that these are the types of games for you. And
I'm the kind of player who likes to really dig in and really understand the systems that are making the game tick and understand what the developers were trying to. I like to try and get into the developers' heads as I'm playing and understand the design of the game and understand it at like a meta level. But I'm, obviously some games hook me more than it. But Monster Hunter is just like the perfect game for that because the developers have been working on this series for decades and it has grown and evolved so much that you can see just like all of these really refined systems and just imagine how much work over how many years has gone into getting these things to the state they're in now. And the systems are in, I feel, a really good place. I started the series with World, and even since then, the series has changed so much. It's been really, really fun to be just like a part of like a fan of Monster Hunter and see it grow and watch it grow and understand it at that level.
It was the same way like growing with Destiny, right? Over 10 years, the way we all grew with Destiny. Like I mean, we remember what Destiny was like when it very first came out versus what
Cave.
What it was. Final, I think Final Shape's kind of like the good end. Did you play Final Shape, Chandler, by the way? I don't know if you talked about this. Like
I've played like halfway through it. I Final Shape that was 2023, right? Or was it 2024?
4, I want to say. I think it's
2024. So yeah, Final Shape I was no. I was off I've tried to go back. I have it. I think it came up through PlayStation Plus, and so I've tried to go back and like play through story and stuff, and kind of I'm like halfway through it or something. But also yay apartment Wi-Fi that apartment mesh network Wi-Fi that constantly cuts out and never lets me finish a mission. And
well, yeah, I would say, I mean, if anything, I think definitely you should finish Final Shape just because I think it was like a good end, like a bow on the end of 10 years of Destiny in terms of just the storylines. It's like the Avengers Endgame of Destiny. It's like you'll like, and even Justin played through that. I think that was Justin's swan song in Destiny was Final Shape.
I played a little bit after Final Shape, but I didn't last long after that. I did not buy the following expansion,
Yeah. And the following expansions are like fine. They're not like they're more Destiny. And it's like it's interesting kind of narrative threads that they're pulling on.
Just felt like if I'm ever gonna get off this train, like it has to be
this
now.
is the stop.
It's a good ending point for sure. Having played through everything, I can say that for sure. So Chandler should definitely play the story at least for the Final Shape and get through that.
All right, I'll get back into it.
And especially if you're just playing the story, it's like even if it does disconnect, it's like okay, you're not like messing anyone's up, or it's not like the raid team is being let down. But
so do the story and then watch a playthrough of the raid so you can
see the raid.
The raid is like the real ending.
Yeah, the raid's really cool. It's also very hard. I want to say, is it Salvation's Edge?
It's a hard one.
It's very hard, but it's very fulfilling. I think Justin did some witness runs, and it was very like it's cool.
Yeah, we did some. I remember Andy getting pretty frustrated with me because I wasn't grasping some like I wasn't understanding the mechanics early on. It wasn't even in that really difficult infamous encounter with the white really bright puzzle room, but like the plates, I wasn't quite getting like the rhythm of when to get on the plates and when to get off, and like I kept screwing it up. And I remember Andy getting a little impatient with me at one point, and I was like, oh shit, I got to really get it together.
Lock in, buddy, back. Lock in. You played this game for 10 years. No, we did it, and I think there's some crazy encounters in that, right? I remember the one with the ghosts where everyone had to take the right ghost model in.
Because you had to have really distinctive like cosmetics equipped, because like, okay, who's wearing the crazy like 8-bit hat? Oh, that's me. Okay, I need your ghost over here. And
because you gotta match the ghost with the guardian, and the better flair you had, the easier it was to like go, hey, there's Slimer and there's like Chandler's and his like Safe with Marshmallow hat. Like it's easier to do that. Which is out of a wild
that's actually a really cool like twist on, because like you play Destiny long enough in the raids and you're kind of like, well, what else can they do? Like,
I think that raid was them stretching those raid mechanics about as far as they can go.
They went all out for that one. that encounter was wild. Like we had to do like geometry. There's like someone made like a geometry calculator to like get to output like the shapes. Because you had to like
you had to combine like reasoning. A sphere and a cone makes like what this does that weird thing. Like
wow.
It was that encounter specifically is wild, and like that's definitely, you can't like match make that. I think that's like kind of a thing where you just cannot match make that. But
that was but what an exclamation point on the end of a decade of Destiny.
And you talk about motivation. I think motivation for me for playing these Bungie games is doing those raids or doing those like kind of really cool
those
puzzles.
Pinnacle activities. Have you checked out the Cryo Archive stuff yet?
I'm not. I'm locked. I can't. It's far away from me in terms of being able to get there.
Okay.
I can't do it. You need to level 25, I think.
You're just not at that point yet.
I'm at the money, and I don't want to be, because it's like I need to learn the game before I want to get in there.
Gotcha. Okay.
But this is a big motivator for me, is that I've been seeing kind of the streams of people playing this. It's like very cool. It's a very cool like raid meets battle royale experience for Chandler. It's like there's mechanics, but there's like the thrill of like kind of being chased by real people, and like I hear it's just incredible experience. And I hear Ben Starr's in it, so I can't wait to hear Ben Starr.
That's great.
What is he not in these days, man?
He's in literally everywhere. I had a question I wanted to ask Chandler when Justin was talking about Monster Hunter earlier. Justin was talking about kind of like getting in the heads of developers when he was playing his game. When he was playing Monster Hunter, right? You want to learn the systems. Like, did you come across that at all too, Chandler, when you were kind of liaising between the devs and from the community in terms of like the game itself, or whether it's with Hogwarts specifically, or with like just generally with your brain in terms of like games and like game systems and the way you like communicate to people? Like any like stories or aha moments you want to share from there? Like,
I mean, just like generally, that's I think what got me into games journalism originally, and then into community and games, is just that like, hey, I have found over time that there are so many things that I never thought I was going to be a fan of. Even like I was never going to be a Call of Duty guy. I was like, Call of Duty, whatever. It's not for me, until I went to Treyarch and like sat with the dev team and was able to meet with them and understand.
Until you ran into me at the Call of Duty XP event that one time.
Yeah, exactly. And then I was like, all right.
And now he's a Call of Duty guy.
Just it's really interesting how it changes your head changes your motivation getting into the head of the developer, and really like fundamentally understanding a system or what's going into it, and understanding it at deeper than a surface level. And like when you were talking about getting into Marathon, and you're like, at a surface level, you're like, I don't like extraction shooters.
Yep.
At a surface level, I was like, I don't like Call of Duty, or I don't like battle royales, or I don't like, all these other things. And when you actually get into those things and you start understanding, oh, here's the why, here's the intrinsic motivation, here's what the developers are trying to do with this, here's how they're trying to subvert these things too. Like that's the interesting part to me, is when you take it away from this like high level, I don't like this surface level thing, and it's like, well, it's actually not what you think it is in a lot of cases, or there's something different to the whole thing. I don't know any specific stories necessarily, but
or even like, did
Legacy, definitely that was the way we approached community on that, was like, all right, I want you to be in the developers' heads and not just surface level seeing what this is. That was why we did our gameplay showcases, where the dev team at the studio was like, no, we're showing too much. We're showing too much. And it was like,
No, but
well,
they want to
one,
learn. Yeah.
marketing these days is all about showing way more than you think you need to.
Mm-hmm.
People love to watch Twitch streams. They love to have their whole Marvel movie or Project Hail Mary or whatever like spoiled through all the marketing and still love it.
Well, yeah. Well, they want to know what they're getting into, I think, because like especially in gaming, right? There's a lot of mechanics. You want to like see the nitty gritty because gamers want to get into like, hey, how's this work? You know, like.
Well, and it's a lot of Flash is just that. It's just Flash. Like we had our initial state of play that came out, and it was great, and it showed a lot of stuff, but there was also a lot of skepticism of like, okay, we saw bite-sized chunks of everything. Is that all we're getting? Is this all like surface candy basically, or
how
window?
deep do these systems go?
How deep do these systems actually go? What are we actually looking at here?
Yeah.
And that was my push for, all right, we need to show the depth of these systems and the depth of like coming into this world, living in this world, how what the developers are trying to do. And that was really going, like I said, being able to just wander the office and pop into, oh, here's the castle level design team. Like, hey, talk to me for an hour. Like, let's just chit chat. Let's tell me what you're trying to do here. Combat team, tell me what you're trying to do. Like, the combat not really coming together in that game until
the very
months before, like a couple months before launch. There were pieces of it that just weren't gelling and weren't, it was constantly the thing that we were like, well, combat, we just kind of have to accept it for what it is, and then kind of gelling right at the end and feeling finally pretty good. And
nice.
Nice.
So
when you sit down, when you're wandering the halls, do you have a notebook and a pen with you, or is it more informal and you're just like trying to, then you go back to your desk and you're frantically like, okay, what did he say? He said this, blah, blah, or how, what did that look like? How do you take that and then turn that into, what does it turn into after you go and you talk to them?
Sometimes it is like with that intent of like, okay, I need to learn about these things. I got a notebook in hand. I learned after a while, like, just carry a notebook with me anytime I'm out of my desk, like walking around. Or I was jamming out notes on my phone, which is not as ideal necessarily, but
do what you gotta do.
And then just I would kind of keep just this running repository of interesting things. Sometimes it was stuff that I wouldn't necessarily do anything with, but sometimes it was things that I could then pull up later on when we're talking to like our social agency who was giving us ideas for social content, and could kind of pull in, oh, you guys have this idea, well, that matches really well with this thing that I heard the other day that they would otherwise not know anything about.
Cool. So was it your idea, like I mean, was it your idea to kind of like talk to all these all these different teams, like for those specific, like you mentioned the combat team, was that kind of, did someone tell you to do that, or was it like, oh, like, hey, that's a good idea, we should like get this together?
No, yeah, it was just me. It was just how I did the job. Because
hey, good at your job. Yeah. It seems like, it just sounds like, from what you're just saying, it's like you're kind of like the content liaison too, right? It's like you're really the expert on the game, and you're trying to like translate that to whether it's the community, like people, or whether it's the social agency, or whether whoever needs to know. But you're kind of like the content librarian essentially, right? Like you're helping to match it.
Yeah, kind of have to be the keeper of all of that. There were certain things too that I would always file away with, like characters, for example. So there was one character I learned that gets killed in the intro scene. He gets eaten by a dragon, and I was like, okay, that's
Harry something or other.
Jay, I don't know. But I was like, okay, that character, he has to be somebody that I'm filing him away as somebody that we like put into social marketing in the future when we do like character lists and things like that. So that people are speculating
when you wake up Monday morning.
And it's just like, oh, how does this character play into your Hogwarts Legacy, like your story and everything, and people were speculating on who he was, and it was the conspiracy theorists and the you mentioned Lost earlier. We talked Lost very briefly, but
Drew Goddard,
I went through Lost in real time. And
Me
so having
yes,
the office chats
yes.
about like, oh, what's going to
Yes.
happen, and theorizing and talking about all of that, I wanted to give
and then
people
pretending you weren't super disappointed by the ending.
yeah, I
it was a friends meal along the way. It's one of those.
I wanted to give people that same kind of experience in this with, it was already happening, and I was like,
Mhm.
okay, but like I'm not coming in here to create anything new necessarily. I'm
Yeah.
coming in here to spin up what I see is already there, even if it's bubbling under the surface, even if it's, I want to take that energy and I want to ignite it. And that was an energy that I was seeing, was these people like, how does the story fit in? Where does everything fit in? Who are these characters? Who's this? What's going on here? What's this Easter egg? And I'm like, okay, you want Easter eggs? I'll give you Easter eggs. I'll give you things to put your string on the board, and it's
this is super interesting because I assumed the community manager was more like literally, hey, you're playing The Sims like with people in terms of like getting them in like their little communities. But no, it sounds like you're more like a chief storyteller, or like kind of ways of like a librarian, like I mentioned, but like kind of like, what's the best way of showing off the game? Essentially, like you're almost you're doing more than just community
many
manager.
hats. Community managers do a lot.
They
do a lot more than just managing communities.
Yeah, then
like everybody's like, oh, so
right?
you post on social and you're in Discord all day, and it's like,
First of all, social media is a different job.
That's
true. Yeah.
Finally, someone said it.
Yeah. Well, that's actually a really interesting thing, I think, for me and for a lot of listeners. Like, what community management. So, like, it's such a broad term that I think it's good to tell people like, hey, this is what you guys do, or this is like the skill set, and it's not just Discord modding. You're actually actively.
Well, and talk to 5 different community managers, and you'll get 5 different job descriptions of what they do.
True.
And sometimes 5 vastly different job descriptions where you're like, wait, on one end of the spectrum, you're called a community manager, and on another end of the spectrum, you're also called a community manager, and yet neither of you do the same thing, almost even remotely. But what it all comes back to, I think, is that like storytelling, and that like how do we take the brand and take the what the community is bringing in, what the development team is bringing in, and like tell that whole complete story. And it's all in the details of how you do that.
Yeah. No, and it's perfect for you. I mean, coming from PlayStation lifestyles, hey, you're literally a storyteller for kind of all the PlayStation games, and it's like kind of made perfect fit.
Can I ask you, as someone who is part of various gaming communities, what is the best way of if I have feedback of getting that in front of the dev team? Of making sure that, like, if I have an idea, if I think that this weapon should do 30% more damage because it kicks ass and I love it, like who do I tell? Who do I tweet at?
More
Where do I go?
Space.
I mean, it's going to be different for every single game. Again, like which one of those community managers is it's kind of like what channels are they paying attention to?
Or maybe a question to ask is like how to best phrase it so it doesn't, so you don't dismiss it as a community manager.
There's that.
How do you be nice to Chandlers?
It's that. It's being nice. It's being passionate fans. It's being I think it's just being engaged in the community and not being somebody who's just leaving a negative review. Basically, you're not that person who was like, bad service, hated the food, blah, send, and then you're out and you're not talking anymore.
It's not constructive.
I think in any community, as we saw in like the Destiny community, as we saw as any good community, the best feedback comes from the people who are the most engaged. And you can take that negative and critical feedback from those people because it's coming from a really good place, because they're already engaged. They love your game, they love what you're doing, and they're bringing it to you in a way that's saying like, hey, I really love this thing. I'm part of the community. I want to be here, but I'm telling you where I'm finding friction within this, or what I would like to see for this to be better. And it's
that's
not
an
to always
important
say
part, is not just saying I have a problem with this, but also offering here's what I think you should do.
There's that
too.
A
pain point.
Yeah. It's not like I hate this sucks. It's
yeah.
This would feel better if blah 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 30% damage increase. Maybe that's too much. Maybe it
But
like ultimately, because at the same time, the community has to realize, and I think this is also what a good community manager does, is communicates like, hey, you're not game developers. You don't know what. And I think, we go back to the Destiny example. I think Destiny and the Destiny community team had such a tough job with this overall in trying to explain to them, like, you don't know how like tweaking one lever in the ship breaks all the systems, and you're like, oh, I want this to do 50% more damage, and that would be great. And if you pull that lever and you raise
breaks
that,
everything.
all of a sudden the one of my favorite terms, knock-on effects, just like topple everything else.
Dominoes,
and then your community is going to be real upset.
Yeah. So you make one person happy because all of a sudden scout rifles are doing more damage, but
everything else like breaks. There's nothing else. When you've given feedback like in this, so say a feedback's like constructively given, it's like very thoughtful. And when you has there been a time when you give it to the devs or the right team on the dev team, have they are they usually like accepting of it, or do they usually need some hand holding, or do they need some greasing to hear it? Like what's your experience been like with it on the other side of that?
Depends on the team and the developer and the particular person as well. I would say at Avalanche, generally most people were like very receptive to things.
That's good.
Very open to taking that in, because they were making games for the audience and for the players, and it wasn't a vanity project. It wasn't something like they were making this for the people who were going to love this. It was kind of like, well, we're fans of this world too, and this is the game we want to make, but also we know you're part of the community, and here's what you love about it, and we want to do those things too. There's one community story. It's not even a mechanic based thing, but we released a trailer, and it had a shot with a moon in the background, and the angle of the moon was from the Scottish Highlands would not have been correct. It was rotated like 25%, or 90 degrees or whatever. and an astronomer, whatever they're called, astronomer person, like reached out to me, and they're like, hey, I'm an astronomer. Like, I study the stars and I study the orientation of the moon and stuff. And from this angle in the Scottish Highlands, this particular crater on the moon would actually be rotated this way. That's not correct.
FYI.
Just
Wow.
FYI. Yeah. Like that's the kind of like passionate people that are reaching out on this kind of stuff. I took it to the team and I was like, hey, by the way, this is what I'm hearing. You guys might want to look into this. Here's some evidence that I found based on that. And they ended up reorienting the texture on the moon. And
it's probably something they didn't even think about when they put the moon
I'm sure
up there.
They were like astrologers
there. Okay.
Yeah, moon, boom, put it up. Yeah.
Astronomers.
So yeah, it's just kind of crazy if you're like engaged and you actually care, the kind of things that you can actually bring to a development team and get them to go, oh, okay, sure, we'll rotate the moon, or we'll buff this weapon, or we'll So
that's awesome. Cool. Well, we have been recording for over an hour and a half, I think now. We're going for a while. We could talk about community management for the rest of the day, but at some point we have to start wrapping things up. Andy, is there anything else you want to ask Chandler before we let him go for the day?
Yeah, I think, well, the one thing is I don't think we gave Chandler a chance to share something outside of gaming. If you wanted to share some experience or something that's been into.
Good call.
Not to put, I mean, put on the spot, but if you have anything. Any cool, like, shows, restaurants, I don't know, like events that you've been to, or like any new hobbies.
My coolest thing is coming up. I'm going on my honeymoon in 2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks. Congrats.
And we are going to Italy for 2.5 weeks. So
awesome.
2.5 weeks. What cities?
We're landing in Milan. We're not staying there. And then we're going to Lake Como, Lake Garda, Venice, a villa in Tuscany, Florence, Rome, and then back here to New York.
Holy moly.
Wow, nice. Wow. Nice little tour of Italy as they would say at the Olive Garden.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We could have just gone to Olive Garden. It would have been cheaper, but
no, but less breadsticks, but yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. So we've been planning that. We're very excited for that.
Which leg of that trip are you most excited for?
Oh, either Florence or Lake Garda.
Okay. Why is that?
Lake Garda's really, it's going to be really like spa, really
nice.
relaxing, like massages and spas. And we're spending like 3 days there, I think.
Oh.
And then we're spending 4 days in Florence. And I've just heard a lot of really good things about Florence and the artistry of Florence and stuff, that I'm really excited to tour that.
Well, I want to hear all about the food when you come back.
Yeah, I've never been to Italy yet.
Lots of food, lots of pasta, food and coffee.
Food and coffee, and we'll have an amazing trip. Have the best time. And hopefully, when you get back, we should fire up some marathon or at least some Destin or something. We can
maybe it will have gone on sale by that point.
Yeah, they probably should be.
I'll keep my eye on it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again, Chandler, for taking the time to talk to us today. It's been a real delight getting a chance to catch up with you and learn more about what it was like building the community around Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, I was happy to be here. It was good to catch up with you guys again too, and hopefully I can be back in the future.
Yeah, right on, man. And before we let you go, what are you up to now? Is there anywhere people should go to follow you, or
anything about promo
reach out to you
plug?
LinkedIn, I guess, if they want to follow me on LinkedIn.
Hire amazing community manager, storyteller.
I'm currently at a marketing agency called Skilltree Marketing. A bunch of former WB Games people, basically, who went, we can do marketing because we've done it at AAA places, and so yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
So shouts out if you need a marketing agency.
There you go. Yeah.
Right on. Well, thanks again. Andy, thank you as well.
Yes, of course.
Always great chatting with you. That's going to do it for this episode of Shared Bites. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please check us out on the web. Our website is sharedbites.net. Thanks, Andy, for setting that up. Let us know if you have any thoughts or questions about the show. You can find our social channels at the website. Feel free to follow us there. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Cool. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.